Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is day 2 of our Vlogmas series. And in today's video, we are going to dive into, are you thriving in all of the areas of life? Meaning there are 10 areas that we talked about yesterday. However, you may not know how to evaluate how well you are doing in those areas. So in this video, we are going to talk about the questions that you need to ask yourself to help you to evaluate how well you're doing in these areas. So we're going to go through all 10 of the areas again, and then I'm going to give you multiple questions that you can ask yourself about each one of these areas. You're going to score yourself 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest possible, you wish you could do way better, and 10 believing that you're doing really well in this area. And then that's going to help you to evaluate before you start to organize each one of these areas. So I like to do this in order to see how well I'm doing and how much time I might need to pay attention to a certain area of my life. So our first area is time. And the question you want to ask yourself is, how often do you arrive on time? Are you usually late? Or on average, are you usually on time? And how often do you do the things that you schedule? So many times we will write a bunch of things within our planner, but are you actually doing the things that you have written down in your planner? Score yourself from 1 to 10 on these 2 questions. This will help us to kind of analyze how you need to organize this area in the future. And we will talk about a little bit later on how you can remedy this if you have scored yourself low, like a 5 or under. Our second area is health. How healthy is your eating? Do you sleep well? Are you getting a good night's rest? How is your overall physical activity? Are you working out 3 times a week? And how is your self-talk? Do you have a lot of negative self-talk or positive self-talk? We need to think of all of these things when it comes to our overall physical and mental health. And this is the second area that we are going to score ourselves based on these questions. Our third area is family. How is your relationship with your spouse? How is your relationship with your kids? How are y'all doing family outings, family get-togethers? Do you feel really connected to your family? Do you feel like y'all are growing together? You want to score yourself to see where you are with your family dynamics and in your marriage. Our next area is space. How do you feel about your home? Do you feel like your home is a nice, spacious place? You feel at peace when you walk in your home? How often do you lose things? If you're losing things often, then this can take a lot of time out of your day, and it also can make you feel overwhelmed. So we want to think about our space and rate it 1 to 10. How do we feel overall in our spaces? And remember, this includes your car, your home, and any space where you may spend a lot of time. The next area is work. Does your career plan align with your goals? Do you love your work? If you have scored this one low, we may start to think about how we could possibly move from work that you don't like to work that you do like. And this could be possibly updating your resume or researching and looking for other things that you might possibly want to do. But you want to score yourself 1 to 10. Where are you with loving your work and feeling fulfilled in that work? The sixth area is your money. How well are you managing your money? Are you saving? Are you investing? Are you managing your debt well? Are you having fun with your money? These are questions that you need to ask yourself and rate yourself, because once again, this ultimately changes how we organize this particular area of our life. The next area is personal development. And some of the questions that I will ask myself is, am I engaging in activities that is helping me learn? How many books have I read this year? And it is not about the number of books that I have read, but I'm basically comparing year over year. So if I read 12 books in the previous year, however, in the current year, I've only read 4, then I might take that as, ooh, I'm not doing that well in this area. And so we are not comparing to how many books other people have read. We're really comparing ourselves with ourselves. We're really thinking about what we have done in the past. Are we satisfied with what we have done? And could we possibly be doing better? This is a way of you to engage and really think about, are you learning new things? The next category is spiritual, and some of the questions that I will ask myself is, am I going to church weekly? Am I meditating on scripture daily? Do I feel like my relationship with God is growing? I want to make sure that I feel like I am constantly growing in this area, that I am reading my Bible, that I am focused on my ultimate goal, which is maintaining my relationship with God. Next, think about your social life. When's the last time you spent quality time with friends? When's the last time you traveled and took a meaningful vacation? Your rest and self-care is just as important as your work, so thinking about this area will help you to make sure that you are taking care of yourself and taking breaks. And the last area is hobbies. Do you engage in a hobby weekly? Do you feel creative? Engaging in hobbies can many times help us to white space, feel creative, and really help us with developing additional ideas. So we want to make sure that we are spending time with our hobbies. So these are the 10 areas in which we are scoring ourselves 1 through 10. And as you think about each one of these questions and as you add a score to each one of these areas, if you are under a 5, we may need to consider how we're going to organize that particular area in the future. Now, I will share different ways that I organize each one of these areas throughout this series, and I will definitely give you more and more examples. But for instance, at one time, I considered myself like a 3 with time, and it wasn't the arriving on time. I actually was pretty good with arriving on time, but not as good with doing things that I had scheduled within my planner. And so my remedy was to start time blocking. So I started time blocking around 2019, and time blocking changed the game for me. Actually writing down what time I plan to do certain things in my planner actually made me more likely to do it. And so once I started to organize my time that way by using a weekly hourly planner instead of a vertical planner, it really revamped how I looked at time, and I was able to score myself much, much higher in future years. So for this exercise right now, we are going to score ourselves with each one of these areas, and we're going to talk about the different ways to organize each one of these areas if you have scored yourself under a 5. But for now, I would love to know if you have scored yourself under a 5 in any one of these areas and you want to share. Please let me know in the comments which one did you score yourself under a 5, and I can make sure that I can talk about how to organize it in the future to improve that score. But I hope that this video has helped you, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Until then, keep organizing your life so that you can achieve your dreams. Bye, guys.